What does luxury mean to you? For me, it's being able to open a tap and have clean water come out. I remember what life was like when I was in school. We sometimes had to fetch muddy water from the river. Sadly, that's still the daily reality of millions of Africans. They don't have access to clean water. So today, we want to put water quality under the microscope. This is the 77%, and I'm your host, Liz Show. Did you know? According to the UN, only 0.5% of water on Earth is available fresh water. More than 2 billion people live without safely managed drinking water. I find that quite shocking. And these are not just numbers, they have real-life consequences. For example, every day, 1,000 children under the age of 5 die due to unsafe water, sanitation, and hygiene. My colleagues, DW hosts Michael and Fatu, sat down to chat about the quality of water in their respective countries, Ghana and the Gambia. And while some issues are unique to particular countries, you may identify problems facing your home region as well. All right, over to you, Fatu.
So in the Gambia, where I am from, the water in urban cities is generally safe to drink. But we do face salinity issues due to River Gambia. So the water supply through boreholes and taps is generally managed by the National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC, to ensure quality. But generally, the water quality in sub-Saharan Africa is a story of contrasts. Cities like Kigali, Accra, Cape Town have invested in water treatment facilities that are meant to deliver clean, safe water right to the household tap. But would you actually drink it? The truth is, water supply is very unpredictable. Aging pipes, intermittent supply, and insufficient treatment mean that water can pick up harmful contaminants along the way, serving as breeding grounds for waterborne diseases like cholera, typhoid, and dysentery. So the irony is that this is often due to human mismanagement, not nature, that contaminates these precious resources. So at this moment, I want you to join me talk to my colleague here, Michael Oti, who has all the idea and knowledge about water management and water supply in Ghana. Michael, how are you there?
I'm doing very well, Fatu. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Why are you walking around with a glass of water in your hand?
So we're talking about water supply and water quality, and you're already working on a story on water there in Ghana. Tell me, where do you get the water supply from in Ghana?
Well, there are several sources, mostly from the rivers. We've got also underground aquifers. We've got large water reservoirs. And so our water comes from very many different sources. So
that being said, is the water quality the same in all parts of the country?
Unfortunately not. It depends on where you are in the country. In some areas, the water quality is much better than in other areas. And there are lots of reasons for this.
Why is that?
One of the very big reasons would be mining. The activities of mining pollutes water resources. And that coincidentally is the project that I'm working on currently. I'm working on a documentary for 77%, which is, by the way, coming up very, very soon. So look out for that. We are talking about illegal mining in Ghana and how that affects the quality of not just the environment, but also people's lives.
Has anything been done about it? How is this issue being regulated?
It's a very big challenge for Ghana at the moment. And by the way, not just Ghana, this is a problem that cuts across many West African states. And this is closely tied to the increase in gold prices on the international market. This means that a lot more people are getting into artisanal mining, which on the one hand is good for them, but on the other hand, we have consequences like what we are seeing right now on the screen. Water is getting destroyed. Water resources are getting destroyed. Rivers are turning turbid. And people are mostly interested, when I say people, I mean miners, are mostly interested in getting the mineral resources out of the ground, but do not really care about how that impacts the rivers and also the water resources.
But have they been sensitized about the consequences that's happening there in their various communities?
It's a big challenge because illegal mining, or what they would call small-scale mining, is a largely unregulated industry across many West African states. And so the government is not able to educate the people. First of all, it does not even know who is doing what.
Exactly,
where.
yeah.
And to give you some context, in some of the places where I've been for this story, there are people who are hiding in forest reserves. And it took me sometimes 2 hours to drive on a tricycle. Cars cannot access these forest reserves. So you need a small tricycle to travel 2 hours to get to the mining site. And this is happening on the blind side of the government. But the consequences affect everyone. And so, I mean, at every stage, they would argue, some of the miners argue that they dig their own wells. So they are not dependent on rivers or whatever. But what they do not acknowledge is that whatever well that they have dug, they are using the underground water resources. And when they are done with their process of finding gold, that water is poured out and it seeps, it percolates back into the ground. And so mercury used on the surface can find its way back into the underground water resources and still affect people.
People, indeed. Interesting. Well, thank you so much, Micah.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, and I look forward to sharing a lot more of what we found in our Digging Deep documentary on illegal mining with you and also all of our viewers.
Pretty sure they will enjoy this particular piece by you. At the end of the day, the regions that invest in cleaner, more efficient water systems reap the benefits, while those caught in the grip of contamination and corruption face an uphill battle.
Thank you, Fatu and Michael, for those insights. But I'm sure some of you viewers are like, I can't sit around and wait for authorities to finally decide to give us clean water. I want to do something right now. Well, you are at the right place. We at the 77% are proud to present a brand new segment called Science Unlocked. It's with our very own Edith Kimani, whom you all know as brilliant host and as a journalist. But did you know that she also has a passion for science and is very crafty? She's going to tell us how to make our water at home safer by building DIY water filters.
How safe is your tap water? I mean, do you trust it enough to drink it? I don't, which is why I have to buy drinking water. And most people in the city of Nairobi do. I mean, there are places in this country and other parts of Africa where you can find safe filtered drinking water, but not here. So today I want to do 3 things. How safe is tap water? Now, the second thing I want to identify is if I can make this water drinkable. Can I actually make it safe, and how? So that's step number 2. How do you like my handwriting, by the way? And finally, we need to test our results. So we must test in a lab. But first, let's quickly understand where our water comes from. Nairobi sources most of its water from nearby dams as well as some groundwater reservoirs. The problem is that the city doesn't supply enough water, which means that extra water is supplied through water trucks, boreholes, or water cellars. It also means that pipes, which in some cases are old and leaky, are also illegally tapped and damaged. The result is we have no idea how clean the water coming out of our taps actually is. All right, it's time to do some experiments. I've got a jar here which I want to clean first with some rubbing alcohol, just so that it's completely clean and decontaminated. All right, that looks pretty clean to me. One of these samples will have the tap water, and the second sample we will boil that water for about a minute or 2. And when we take the samples to the lab, I'm very curious to see if there's going to be a noticeable difference. So let's go fill this in. We've got our first sample of just tap water. We've not done anything to it. And our second sample of boiled water is actually still a bit warm, nice. And for our third sample, we took raw river water. So I'm just gonna hold this here. Oh, you can see that. All the floating goodness in there. We'll collect some of this water and filter it and boil it and take it to the lab and see if there's gonna be a significant difference between our first sample, second sample, third sample, and of course we're gonna have a fourth one. Let's get filtering. What types of pollutants might we find in water here in Kenya? Microbial contaminants, bacteria and viruses from human and animal waste. Heavy metals, such as lead and mercury, often found in industrial runoff. Pesticides and chemicals from agricultural activities that seep into water sources. All of these pollutants have a negative effect on our health, either in the short term or long term. That's why we don't want them in our water. I've put together everything we need for our DIY filter. You're gonna need a container to collect your filtered water, this funnel, a cloth that's going to come right here, a rubber band, some sand, charcoal, and gravel. So you take your piece of cloth and you attach it to the bottom here. Then we start layering the filter. Now we're mimicking what already exists in nature. So we start with sand, charcoal, then we're gonna need some more sand, more charcoal. Now it looks something a little bit like this. And then we take a little bit of the gravel. And finally, we've got our raw river water. The whole point is to see if this can look a little better after it's gone through our filters. Oh, that stinks. The filtered and boiled river water, they're now ready to be taken to the lab and see what the scientists say. Hi, Denise.
Hi.
Thanks for... Oh, wait, I forgot something. Oh, much better. We're going to be getting to these questions in a little while. We did send you a couple of samples about a week ago. I'm guessing you have the results.
We do.
Let's go to the tap water. Is there anything from our tap water sample that we should be concerned about?
Of course, yes, we should be.
Of course, yes.
According to the results, the recommended pH should be between 6.5 to 8.5, but as you can see here, the pH is 8.82. So that really makes it unfit for consumption.
What happened then after we boiled our water? Could we have fixed that?
Fortunately, I can see, yes, the results show that after boiling, the pH level reduced to allowable limits.
8.43.
8.43.
Wow, so just on the edge.
Just on the edge.
But that's really good news that just a simple thing as boiling your water can already eliminate something like, you know, alkalinity in your water. Then we have the raw river water.
There are a number of parameters and very serious ones to say that have indicated this water was not fit for consumption. We realized that there were several microbes in this water, both with pathogenic and unpathogenic, and the number was huge. We went ahead and checked a parameter called E. coli. If you find your E. coli in water, it indicates fecal contamination. Fecal contamination could be from sewer, from mammals, from people, from birds. When they grow, there is a substrate that is broken down, and therefore that substrate makes the E. coli bacteria to appear greenish blue because it has got a unique enzyme.
Sorry, I can't get over how awful it looks. It just looks like a disease.
And we went ahead and checked Staphylococcus aureus.
What is Staphylococcus aureus?
Yes.
It sounds very good in the mouth.
It sounds a sweet name,
yeah,
though not very interesting to interact with.
Okay.
They are always very resistant to even antibiotics, some of them. So this Staphylococcus, as we can see, it was present in this water, and for its case, it should not even be present at all. Even presence of one indicates the water is not fit for consumption.
Okay, so let's move on to our fourth and final sample. I'm very curious about this because I thought that having filtered and boiled it, it would look a little better.
From the look of things, it doesn't look great, but the results indicate otherwise. With the regard to microbial parameters, it indicates that everything is okay.
Would you drink it?
Until I check for the chemical parameters.
Okay.
This river water indicates that there are high levels of manganese and fluoride. So therefore, it's not fit for consumption.
I thought fluoride was good in water because of its benefits for our teeth, or am I misinformed?
No, everything to a given level becomes a poison, you know?
Right.
Yes, so everything above a given threshold becomes unfit.
Okay. All right, so what have we learned from our little DIY experiment today? Well, the first thing is that despite looking very clean, tap water isn't always safe. This one we learned did not have any pathogens, but something as simple as a pH can disqualify it from being safe. So good to note. However, we also learned that doing something as simple as boiling the water can bring it up to safety standards. What else did we learn? That our waters here in Nairobi are in a sad state and that they contain all kinds of contaminants, from microbes to chemical ones. We did also see, though, that combining our different methods of filtration and boiling can significantly improve the quality of water, making it perhaps not safe for consumption, but for other uses. So tell me, what other experiments do you want us to do for you? We really enjoy doing this. So thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Edith, for inviting us to your home lab and looking forward to the next experiment. Polluted water is not just a health problem for us human beings, but of course also for animals. We send Samson Adeleke out on assignment to not only be a fisherman for a day, but also to learn what dirty seas and rivers mean for water inhabitants and for those who depend on fishing for their livelihood.
This fish is called what? Just look at it, man. And this one is called what?
Baobi.
Baobi. And this one is called?
Ikan kacha.
And this one?
It's redfish.
Wow, this is wonderful. All these fish can be found along the stunning, beautiful West Africa coastline. For years, I have traveled across West African cities, and one particular also stood out: fishing. Fishing requires the same energy and camaraderie. And our hustler for today, he is Ni Aite.
Hi guys, I'm a fisherman from Ghana, and this is my hustle.
I know you guys don't like to put on life jackets.
It's not part of our fishing. We don't use it.
But for me, I have to put on life jacket because for my safety. Yeah, what's your boat? Hello, that's Spirit, man. How far are we going to get today?
Not too far.
You know, this is actually my first time of getting on top of a boat like this to go into the deep ocean.
Okay.
How long have you been doing this?
For 15 years now.
What kind of fishes do you usually get from this area?
We have salmon, we have herrings,
Okay.
we have grouper, and we have a whole lot of them. We have redfish.
Redfish as well,
Redfish as
yeah.
Redfish.
What method do you usually use to catch your fish?
We use casting round method.
Oh, okay, casting rod method.
Round method.
Okay,
So we cast it round so that we pull the under, and then we gather the fish, then we bring them.
Oh, okay.
Sam, here we are now. We are about to cast our net, but first of all, we need to throw an anchor. This is an anchor.
Okay.
It is made of metal.
Okay.
It has 4 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow, it's very heavy.
It's very, very heavy.
Wow.
This is what holds the canoe to like stabilize. This is what stabilizes the canoe to stay at one place.
Okay.
No movement.
Wow. This also is not easy, and you are not putting on life jackets.
Then you throw it.
Damn. Wow. So it will go deeper, right?
It will go deeper.
Okay. So when it gets down, what happens?
It holds the soil.
Oh, okay.
Or if there are some rocks under the sea,
Yeah,
so to hold it, so you tie it.
Okay.
Put it there.
Do you need me to also tie? Or it's just like that?
You tie it.
Okay.
These are ring.
Okay. What's the purpose?
The purpose is just to drag the lead from the sea.
Oh, okay.
To be able to downcast the net.
Oh, okay.
So that the fish will not pass under the net. This net has different types.
Okay.
We have 2 inches.
Okay.
We have 1 1/4.
Okay.
We have 1 inch.
Okay.
We have 1 1/8.
When you throw the sand, it gives you the direction at
of
which the sea is going to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So guys, let me also try my own to know the direction which sea is going to. For now, we don't have compass. We have to use sand. So I'm about to throw it. Are you guys ready for it? Should I go? Wow, the sand is going. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Wow, see, just look at that. Look at that. So it's going towards this direction. Wow. So now we're going to cast the net towards this direction, right? The big moment is here.
It is turn by turn.
Wow, see the way it's moving. Just look at that, man. Just look at that. Moving by itself, right?
It has been divided already.
Oh, I see.
Don't stand on the net too.
Okay.
Inside.
Okay.
Don't stand.
Oh, wow.
So we have 2 ends.
Okay.
This is the first end. The first end is where the gallon is.
Oh, okay.
And the last end is this.
We've casted the net right now.
Okay.
So what next?
The next thing is to put the ring.
This also is energy sucking.
So this fish, first of all,
wow! Guys, just look at that! Yeah. Wow, what a great moment for me, man! First time of fishing, we caught this! My God! Wow! Hello, fish! How are you?
you see?
Long sliver fish. Wow! The moment is now. We're about to turn all the fishes that we caught today. Let's go there. Wow. Wow, wow. And wow, a lot of plastic there. Wow, wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, this is too much. This is too much, guys. We really need to stop this. Imagine the number of plastic that we've been able to gather today. Like, there are more than this. So inside the fish there, you can still see a lot of them. This is a big challenge, don't you think?
We even catch some which fools the canoe, and we even hire another canoe so that we just pull it back to the shore. It's killing the sea. First of all, some of the fishes, if they are hungry, they see anything shining like this, they just consume it.
You're right.
Then they will die.
Just look at this. Plastic. Just imagine that. Okay, so how much are they going to sell this one like this now? Average.
This one will cost like 300 cedis.
This one will go for 300 cedis, right?
Cedis.
Wow, that's much. Wow. Very nice. We've worked so hard, man. Yeah, all right, guys. Thank you very much. In Ghana, we say, Heradon. Hoyiwaladon. Guys, I'm sure you guys are enjoying this episode of My Hustle. Now, I want to ask you, which hustle will you like me to try out next? Please put your comment below and keep watching DW, the 77%.
That's our hustler, Samson, is always giving 150%. And you heard him. He's ready to try out more jobs, so please keep those suggestions coming. Now, we want to end this show on a positive note. Because although water pollution and scarcity are serious global problems, there are many people working diligently on local solutions. We traveled across the continent to learn more about efforts to protect important water bodies.
As Yvette Tete dips into the water, she's ready to swim another 11 kilometers. A skilled swimmer and activist, Tete is on a challenge to swim 450 kilometers of the world's largest artificial water reservoir, Lake Volta. The lake provides water for millions of Ghanaians, supporting agriculture, fishing and hydropower. But it's also affected by textile waste, with an alarming amount of dye, chemicals and untreated wastewater being dumped into the lake. While Tete is glad that she's able to swim in the water at all, her goal is to raise awareness about these pollutants.
It is so encouraging and so amazing to be able to swim in the Volta River like this. And I'd love to see other water bodies in Ghana and specifically Accra be this swimmable again. So many people don't even understand that we have secondhand clothing coming from the global north to the global south, or that there are other issues that are affecting the quality of our water.
As Tete swims, a group of scientists test the water, examining the impact that sewage, industrial runoff and agriculture have on the lake. This gave local authorities the hard evidence they needed to act. Across the continent in Kenya, the Nairobi River is hardly a river to bathe in or even stroll along. The city's neglected artery has become nothing more than a giant dump site. Yet, in the low-income neighborhood of Korogocho, a group of youths have turned the dump site into a park.
My motivation is to bring back the Eden, the land that Kenya was, a beautiful country. We are stressed in Kenya today because our environment is so polluted, it is so deforested, we have got nothing to be proud of.
A few hundred miles away, Uganda's second largest river, the Rwizi, is also in need of a cleanup. As trucks ferry away plastic waste for recycling, this company has set its eyes on another form of pollutants, Organic waste from avocados and soya beans, which oil refineries previously dumped directly into the river. Petson Tumusime, a local entrepreneur, reuses the organic factory waste to make soap.
This material is hazardous, and if not turned into a productive product, it could end up into the water streams and bodies and swamps. From here, we bring it into our crusher, where we crush it and mix it with natural oils from sunflower, soybean and palm oil, and neutralize it into a usable product.
As the local company does its bit to keep the Rwizi River clean, scientists realize that multiple efforts are needed to save both the rivers and all those who depend on it.
All right, time to wrap up our show. But before we do, a quick reminder that we love to hear from our 77% family. If you have a story to share about how your community is protecting water sources, or maybe a cool environmental project at your school, feel free to reach out to us on social media.